And we begin tonight with breaking news. Valley police officers have been involved in two separate shootings, killing two people. The first happening outside of a church in Queen Creek. The other near homes in El Mirage. Thanks everyone for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kadiva Devine. Mark has the night off. We have team coverage at both of these breaking news scenes. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is live in Queen Creek tonight. But first, we want to get over to 12 News journalist Chase Golightly, who is live in El Mirage. And Chase, it's been a very active scene out there. Can you give us an update from police?
Kribe, we spoke with them about 20 minutes ago about the situation. They told us one man is dead, and right now you have several law enforcement agencies out here. You have El Mirage Police, you have Glendale Police Department, you also have the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. This happened just after 5:30 today, and you can see investigators are kind of focusing on this area. They have the eastern part of the neighborhood completely taped off, and we were looking, they were taking pictures of this gray sedan that's just sitting right over there. It could belong to the person that we're after, but we still have a lot of questions on what exactly happened in this situation. Now, this all started with a 911 call to El Mirage Police. What that call was about, we don't know at this time. Police just said it was an unknown type trouble situation. Two officers arrived to the neighborhood and found someone matching the description of the person they were looking for. When they tried to talk to that man, one of the officers thought he saw that man carrying a gun or a weapon. They tried to talk with him again, and then that's when the shooting with police happened. It's unclear if that man was armed or if he fired at officers. A lieutenant with the El Mirage Police Department told us what's next in this investigation.
Investigators are focused on determining exactly what occurred leading up to the officer-involved shooting, what the officers saw, what they heard, what they experienced, and then trying to find some sort of answer as to exactly what happened and why. As I said, this is a very small community, and the loss of life is tragic.
No officers were injured in the shooting. We're told the officer who fired his weapon has been with the El Mirage Police Department for about 2 years. Police also said they will be out here for hours, possibly into tomorrow morning, investigating this shooting. But again, you can see this entire area is taped off. You can see all those police units just right down the road here as they continue to take photos and collect evidence from the scene. Of course, we have a lot of questions, especially what that original 911 call was about. And if this was the suspect that police were searching for. Again, the person who's died here on scene, they said it was a subject that matched the description of the person they were looking for. So still a lot of questions in this whole situation. Of course, we'll be sure to keep you updated. We're live in El Mirage tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you so much for that. Meanwhile, a man has died after being shot by police officers outside of an LDS church in Queen Creek. The shooting happened just before 4 o'clock near Chandler Heights and Ellsworth Road. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is live with the very latest. And Gabby, you've been there pretty much since this happened earlier this afternoon. How active is the scene out there right now?
That's right, Kribe. Still a heavy police presence for about the past 6 hours. They've been out here investigating. I want to show you the shooting happened just outside the doors of this LDS church behind me. And it's still unclear tonight why the man that officer shot came here and what his involvement with the church is. But we now know this all started just before 2 o'clock this afternoon when a family member called 911 with concerns about a loved one being suicidal. Police say that caller directed officers to a home about 2 miles away from where this shooting happened, but the man was not home when officers arrived. Officers were eventually able to locate him at this LDS church near Chandler Heights and Ellsworth Road. Police say he was armed at that time. Queen Creek Police Chief Randy Bryce did not tell us what led up to the shooting. Other than that man did die. I asked him if anyone else was at the church when the shooting happened, and this was his response.
There were some people in the area that officers did have to deal with, but we'll get some more information out there on the specific details of why they were there, but I can't get into too much of that. But yeah, there were other people in the area.
And no officers were injured in this shooting. Chief Bryce could not elaborate on how many officers were involved or what de-escalation efforts were used prior to the shooting. Police also did not identify the man. They did tell us he was older in age, but this is still a very active investigation. Police expect to be out here for several more hours. We can see them still collecting evidence, taking pictures and things of that sort, but it's all very limited to just that parking lot of the church. So So we're going to continue to get answers on what exactly happened here today, and we'll share that with you when we have it. Live in Queen Creek, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thanks for that. Tonight, Phoenix police are sharing some new video showing the moment that officers shot a man who they say was holding a toddler hostage while carrying a machete. This happening last month near 31st Avenue and Bethany Home Road. Officers were called to a domestic violence incident. When they arrived, they found a man inside of an apartment with a toddler on his lap while armed with a machete. Officers shot the man and then moved in to rescue the toddler, who thankfully was not injured. The man was taken to the hospital and released 2 days later. He is now facing felony charges. We want to get you to some news developing right now. A busy intersection near downtown is closed tonight while police investigate a crash there. You can see the wreckage there is pretty extensive. This is happening at 7th Street and McDowell Road. Phoenix Fire tell us that 3 women have been taken to the hospital, including 2 who are in critical condition. We are working to learn more about what led up to the crash, and we will update you as soon as we get that. All right, shifting gears to our weather. We are tracking multiple weather impact alerts. We're expecting days of heavy rainfall, Lindsay, and some of the rainfall amounts that you have been talking about are very similar to that last storm that we had a couple weeks ago, if not maybe even more, right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, we picked up 1.64 inches out at the airport with that September 26th storm, but there were parts of the valley that saw 2 and 3 inches, and this is going to be very similar. Most of the valley picking up 1 to 3 inches. We could have some localized spots that see more than that. It is going to be widespread all across Arizona. This is the current flood watch that's in effect. And for western Arizona and northern Arizona, this begins tomorrow and extends through Saturday night. But for Phoenix and the lower deserts, it begins on Friday and continues through Saturday night. So tomorrow, Phoenix not under the flood watch. We would wait till Friday for that. So across the valley on the low end of the spectrum, we're looking at 1 inch. Those will be some of the lower rain totals this weekend. But on the high end, we could see some areas picking up as much as 3 inches, if not some localized spots even exceeding 3 inches of rain. So the time frame for the heaviest rain here in the valley, Friday evening through Sunday morning. Heavy rain this weekend with flooding, so you're going to want to stay weather aware. Have a good way that you can get those weather warnings, because we'll definitely have flood warnings this weekend. As we look to tomorrow, temperatures are going to be in the double digits. Humidity will be on the rise, and we will have extensive cloud cover all day tomorrow. With that being said, we do have about a 20% chance for an isolated shower tomorrow. Still more dry time than wet, and with the heaviest rain arriving Friday afternoon and evening. Caribe.
All right, Lindsay, we'll check back in with you a little bit later on. But during the last major storm that we had 2 weeks ago, the Scottsdale Fire Department had more than a dozen rescues. Sadly, a delivery driver died after getting caught in the flooded Indian Bend wash. Preparations for this new round of storms are now underway in that same area. That's where we find 12 News journalist Bianca Bono. She is live near 77th Street and Roosevelt. And Bianca, what are officials doing there?
Well, the Greenbelt here was built for flooding, and the city certainly has infrastructure in place year-round, like these signs here, to warn drivers when it is flooded. But if you've lived here a while, you know this, that nearly every weather event, there are people who ignore these signs. So officials are trying to warn folks now about what's expected to come.
2 weeks ago, Lucas Miller had a front row seat to Scottsdale's flooding.
Lakeside property.
He lives along the Indian Bend Wash Greenbelt and watched it transform into a fast-moving flood zone.
That rain 2 weeks ago was the craziest I've seen it. So that's the most it's rained in Arizona. I've been here 30 years.
2 weeks later.
And there's still mud and it's still wet.
And now the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for the area on Friday and Saturday.
We're looking at very anomalous moisture that's going to be getting pulled in here from Priscilla. So we're looking at moisture values upwards of 250 to 300% of normal for this time of year. So that is pretty significant for us. So those factors has led us to go ahead and issue a flood watch.
That means once again, preparations are underway.
You can get sucked into this drainage ditch right here easily.
Scottsdale Fire Captain Dave Folio says in addition to the permanent signage warning drivers about flooded areas, the city already has barriers staged. During the storm on September 26th, a food delivery driver died after his car was swept into the flooded wash.
2 inches can sweep you off your feet, and a foot of water can move your vehicle completely off the washway and find yourself in trouble real quick.
Folio says Friday will be an all-hands-on-deck day for the department. He says 42 members just finished a refresher training on swift water rescues, but he hopes it's a skill set they won't have to use.
Turn around, don't drown, and whatever your case might be, do not go around our barriers and drive into standing water or moving water. We just need to take it seriously.
And Scottsdale is handing out sandbags at Roosevelt and Miller and McDowell and Miller, so you can pick them up there if you do need them. Again, the main message here, turn around and don't drown, not only for your safety, but for the safety of those first responders as well. We're live in Scottsdale tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, good advice there, Bianca. Thank you. Well, less than 2 weeks after flash floods devastated the city of Globe, the community is preparing for more heavy rain this weekend. All day, people living in the area were seen packing sandbags. Hundreds of high school students volunteered to help with preparation efforts.
These kids are making history, and they may not realize that right now, but one day they're going to be telling their kids about how they helped save Globe.
Meanwhile, city and county crews are also hard at work doing what they can to make sure all of that heavy rain that falls this weekend doesn't get trapped by debris left from the last storm. Globe Mayor Al Gameros described those efforts.
Now it's preparation to try and protect what they've already done after the flood to their buildings. It's just making sure the dirt is low enough under our bridges to make sure that the water flow.
And the city is also asking residents to do their part, keep an eye on any weather alerts, and make sure you have emergency kits ready to go before the storm arrives.